Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Santa's Craft Galore. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already for more craft related videos. Today I'm going to show you how I made this marble design clay earrings and what are the processes that I followed to make them. At first I have taken 5 different colored clays of my choice and now I'll condition them one by one. After conditioning the clay, I'll roll out the clay into a thin layer and I'll follow the same process for all this different colored clay. As you can see here, I have cut out all this flattened out clay into similar shapes and sizes so that it is easier for me to layer them later on. And you can also see that I am adding some gold leaves to the clay so that it gives a different texture and different design to make it more beautiful. After adding the gold leaf to each of the different colored clay, I'm going to roll the first layer of clay into itself and then I will add another colored clay one by one and layer by layer to create the marble design that we have seen earlier. Since I have not followed any kind of exact measurements, so here I'm stuck with the clay not being of the exact same size, so I have to flatten them out again. And also, since the layer becomes thicker with each one of the clay being added, so I have to flatten them out, the last 2 remaining clay, so that I can seal them properly and the design comes out nicely. After adding all the layers, I'll roll out the clay can a few times so that all the layers stick to each other nicely. And after that, I'll cut the can into small pieces of similar sizes. And you can also see the pattern come out nicely here. I have taken the scrap clay from earlier and cutting them into small pieces to mix them up, and I also add a little bit of gold leaf to give it a little bit of bling, and I'll use this as the base for laying out the clay pieces that I have here. I'll squeeze in all the clay tightly into one piece and then make it into a kind of cane, and then I'll cut them into pieces to lay out as the foundation or the base. Now I just need to piece them together and roll it out with the rolling pin. I could have rolled out the whole blob of clay to make the base, but I wanted this uniform design, so I made them into something like a cane and then made this pattern. I think making marble pattern in clay is quite interesting, and we can always experiment in different ways, like what are the patterns that we will get if I try this or if I try that. So it is very interesting for me personally, and I think we should try different patterns to see what we like the best. After rolling out the base or flattening it, I have added a little bit of liquid clay to the surface so that it acts as a glue to attach the pieces of clay that I am adding at the top. And after that, I will flatten it out to get the pattern that I want. I should have been more careful while filling out the crevices here. I should have used the same clay as the outer layer of the pattern so that it doesn't look patchy. But since I did not follow that, so the pattern did not come out as nicely as it was supposed to. After flattening the clay into my desired thickness, I am going to cut them into different shapes with the help of these makeshift cutters. This one is actually the cap of Comfort Fabric Softener, and then this one, the white one, is the cap of moisturizer, I think. So I am using them to cut the clay into different shapes. But since I did not use powder for this one, it got stuck. But after that I learned my lesson, so I'm adding a little bit of talcum powder so that the clay is not stuck inside the cap or the cutter. I also have this flower shaped cutter, and I'm trying to get similar patterns on each of these pairs of cutouts because I'm going to present them as pair of earrings, so it is better if each pair of shape has a similar pattern on them. So these are the cutouts that I have so far, and I also have the scraps that I'm going to turn into a different set of earrings. I have also made some beads with the help of this clay with this pattern, and I can turn them into bracelets if I want, or I can use them in the earrings as well. So here's the clay scrap that I was talking about. I'll add some gold leaf to it and bind them tightly and follow the same process that I used earlier to flatten them out by making them into something like cane and cutting them into small pieces and then roll them out. And you can see that by experimenting with the clay, we have created another pattern or design of marbled clay here. I'm using butterfly shaped cutter here, and I'm going to turn them into earrings as well. I'm taking the clay scraps again, and this time I am rolling it into a bowl and then flattening it out, which has made a different pattern again, and I am going to cut them into a trapezium like shape, and these will also be turned into earrings. I'm going to make some beads with the remaining clay, and I'm poking some holes into them with the help of this eye pin, and I'll use them for making bracelets later. Whenever I put any batch of clay for baking, I try to maximize the whole process by filling up the whole tray, because I bake them for an hour or maybe more than that sometimes to make the pieces sturdy. So if I bake them in small batches, it might result in wastage of electricity. That's why I prefer to fill up the whole tray as much as possible. After baking the pieces, we need to smoothen out the edges or the plain surfaces which have little bubbles or lanes with the help of acetone or nail polish remover. Here I'm adding resin to the clay pieces to give it a smooth and shiny texture, and as well as to make it sturdy. After applying the resin, I'll keep it under the UV light for a minute or two to cure it. Here you can see how the pieces look so shiny and smooth. I am making some holes into the clay pieces with the help of these hand drilling machines so that I can attach jump rings later on. These are some of the jewelry making materials like ball studs, jump rings or eye pins that I have bought from an Instagram account called Empresa Clay Supplies, and these materials are anti-tarnishing. This process of assembling and attaching the clay pieces to the jewelry materials is therapeutic in my opinion, because you don't have to think much. You just keep on repeating the motion and keep attaching the jewelry materials one by one to the clay pieces. So I think it is therapeutic in nature. So this is how the earrings have turned out, and I hope you like this video. You can also try making this pattern on your own, and if you like it, then please share your thoughts in the comment box. So here's the end. Please like, comment and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.